Okay, so now we're working with strings, and the question is, how do you join two strings? Like, how do you add two strings? So here we have a string which we've defined to be, which we've set to hello, and here we have another string which we've set to this comma world. Okay, and we declared both S1, S2, and S3 as strings. So you're allowed. So if you write this S1 ampersand S2, this is called ampersand. So S1 ampersand S2, that means concatenate or put together these two strings. Okay, so put them together and assign S3 that. So when you put this with this, you get this. So S3 will be this. Okay, so various operations are defined on strings. So one operation is concatenation, this operation here. The joining of two strings is accomplished by the concatenation operator ampersand. Example given the statements, dim S1, S2, S3 as string, S1 equals hello, S2 equals comma, world, exclamation mark. The concatenation operator, this, adds these, so-called adds them, or just puts them together, and sets S3 equal to that, so we get this. Thus, concatenation may be thought of as addition of strings. As a result, in VB, the plus operator may be used in place of that. So you could actually write, instead of S1 and S2, you can write in VB S1 plus S2, and I guess that will also work. And I guess you can't read this below here, but it says the plus operator in VB is said to be overloaded. That just means that you can look up overloaded on the internet. It's part of object-oriented programming concepts, and it means that it has more than kind of one meaning. So in this context, when I have a string and a string, it has one meaning. If I have a number and another number, or a number and a number, then it has a different meaning. So in other words, you can put plus in here, and it will concatenate the two strings. Okay, string literals. Not all strings have to be explicitly declared as variables. So I think we saw that because we did things, I guess we took some text. I'm not sure if we did it or not, but anyway, a string literal is an undeclared string constant. So you don't have to declare it. You can just sort of use it. So, which is implicitly declared using quotation marks. Implicit means it's implied. The declaration is implied when you use the quotation marks. We have frequently used string literals for output. So I guess we output some data to a label, and we'd never really declared that string in the beginning. For instance, by displaying text on a label. String literals are often combined with other data types via the concatenation operator to form a new string, which is then used for output. Consider the VB code like this. So here we have subtotal, which is declared to be an integer, and it's set to be 150. It's initialized to 150. And then we do this, label1.text, so we have some object called label1, we take its text property, equals, now this is, don't get confused here, here's a quote and a quote, so this is a string, so it's equal to this string, concatenate, subtotal, which was set to be 150, so this is going to be 150 here, and then quote and dollars. So this will print out, label1.text will have the value, what? Subtotal equals $150. Subtotal equals $150. And this is passed to label1 for display. Okay, some more important string operations besides concatenation. Getting a string's length means that getting the number of characters in the string, you can do that. So that's an operation you can do on a string. And actually, it's, instead of saying it's an operation, I might say it's just a property of the string. All strings have an integer length. So the length will turn out to be an integer. So it's not going to be like 2.5 or something like that. So the length of a string S is obtained by referencing its length property using the dot operator. So suppose you have a string called S. You can write, suppose you have a string that's been assigned to the variable S. You can write S.length, and that will give you how many characters are in the string. Okay, so that's, I guess we can call that an operation, although it's a property of a string. And then working with substrings. A substring of S is just a subset of the string. For example, suppose we have this string, hello, comma, space, world, apostrophe. Suppose we have that string. And if we write this, and we set it to S, we assign it to the variable S. And if we write S.substring, so that's a function, no, that's a method for S, but anyway, it's like a function for S. And we say 0, 5. So what is the 0 and what does the 5 mean? So 0 is where you start in the string, and 5 is how far along you go in the string. So I start at 0 means I start here, and I go 5 units out. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what do I get? Hello. So if I do S substring 0, 5, that means hello. By the way, this equals is not the assign operator. He's just saying this is the same as this. Not so clear, but this means this. Okay, and how about this one? Substring 7, 6. That means where do I start? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Start at the blank. It doesn't seem right. Let me try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then go 6 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm confused. We should try this and see if this is right. Okay, I would have thought it has the space and stops at D. So we need to try it. Oh, I'm sorry, 0, 0, 0. Right. Okay, good. So I made a mistake. It's an important mistake that we need to think about. You don't start counting from 1. You start counting from 0. So this is the 0th character, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. This is the 7th character, W. And then we go 6 characters over, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get world. Okay, this is the substring operator, we could call it, or the substring method, or the substring function, maybe. Working with substrings. A substring of S is a subset of the string, kind of like taking a byte out of the string, kind of like just taking a byte out of this. Okay? So we just took a byte out of this, like we pulled this part out. Okay? So kind of like taking a byte out of the string, it's kind of like the opposite of concatenation. So instead of putting things together and making it bigger, we're kind of making it smaller. The statement S, so S is the string, S is the variable that holds the string, dot substring. So just like we use the dot notation for properties, we also properties of controls. Remember, we had label control and we got its text property and we got other properties using the dot notation. Here we have not, this is not a control, but it's a variable, and we can do the same thing with a variable. Variables are kinds of objects, or sometimes they are, and so they have some properties and even some functions associated with them. So string objects or string variables have a substring function associated with them, and you use it with the dot notation like this. Okay? And so if we do take the substring and creates a substring of length length L, starting from character N. Example, we just did these. Okay? Okay, next video we'll do dates.